Nobody can decide what to eat, but everybody wants something good. Pizza is the answer. When you've had a long day, the group chat is no help and cooking, not happening. Pizza is the answer. When it's made from scratch, stone-fired, loaded with all the good stuff, and served hot at your table, already right on time for takeout. Pizza at Paisanos is the answer. Dine in today or order online at paisanos.com.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by Gator Trim Life, Campus USA Credit Union, Doreen Weeby Realtor, Fairlife Milk, Domino's Pizza, International Diamond Center, Meldon Law, Miapa Latin Cafe, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Quality Plumbing, Sensei Asian Bistro, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Titan MRI and Imaging, the UF Bookstore, Gala Bank, B&D Electric, and the Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
It is time to eat some lunch and talk some sports. Welcome into a Thursday edition of Sports Scene as you listen on WRUF. Caroline is our producer today. If everything goes well, we're going to talk to Chris Doring today, a little early preseason SEC football. Former Gator football player Ben Troupe is going to reminisce about his time at Florida. He's also written a terrific book he'll tell you about. And Ron Slay from the SEC Network will come on and talk a little bit about Go ahead, and he just texted me. I have to do it a little bit later. Okay. I'll text him back. Live radio, ladies and gentlemen. All right. My first guest has to wait. All right, there we go. There's the text. So that takes my first guest out. Is this going to be the way this day is going to go today? Boy. All right. We come to you live from the Gator Trimlight studio as we have for a long time. Visit GatorTrimlight.com. Find out what they can do for your pool deck, your landscape area, your home lighting, your pool lighting, whatever it might be. They can make it look really good. And a deck you might have. If you have a business you want to light up and make better, they can make it happen for you. Find out more at GatorTrimlight.com. And of course, we are fueled by Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. The best in late model, low mileage vehicles. The Cousins families run that business for nearly 50 years. When you go there, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you. All right, a couple of things today. Hopefully, we'll get your thoughts about. You know, it's funny how things work. I think it's always been like this, but because of social media, it's, I think, even more exaggerated. We are living in a Janet Jackson world. What have you done for me lately? Right? Caroline, you like that, Caroline? Yeah, she's going like, oh my God. But it's true, right? What have you done for me lately? Wasn't that long ago, people were calling here and complaining about Scott Strickland. He should be fired. Get rid of him. He can't hire. You don't hear that anymore. Why? Well, A, the coaches he's hired recently have done pretty well. We don't know about John Summerall, but and maybe because of this. Florida is 6th in the overall Learfield Directors Cup standing nationally. Number 6. Pretty good. It extends its streak of top 10 national all sports finishes to 42 consecutive years. It's the only program in the entire country to reach that distinction. So even in the lean years, right, Florida has managed to do that. In this past sports year, 9 Gator teams placed among the nation's final 10. Okay? Led by, what? Let me ask you a question. Trivia question here. Caroline, I'm going to ask you this. Ready? Guess. What team had the highest ranking for Florida? Would you guess? Good guess. Okay? That's one of them. She said track. Women's track and men's swimming both finish number 2 in the country. Gymnastics, despite the fact, it's disappointing, they finished number 3. Men's indoor track, number 3. And a sport that has recently come on, women's cross country. You never heard about cross country. Number 5. Men's golf, tied number 5. Women's indoor track, tied number 5. Softball, tied number 9. And women's swimming, number 10. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And that's without, right, the supposed big 3 in there. No football, no men's basketball, no baseball. And yet, that's where Florida is. So congratulations to the coaches, the players, the athletic department, because that is an achievement. And think about it. When you finish in the top 10 42 consecutive years, that spans a hell of a lot of athletes, a hell of a lot of coaches, and a hell of a lot of administrators. That's consistency, peeps. Pretty good. Also, Gator baseball apparently is going to hire a coach from, we told you yesterday, from Oklahoma, Todd Butler. And tomorrow, on a Friday edition of the show, going to delve a little more deeply into this. Florida, again, I'm beating a dead horse here, but remember, they finished as a top 8 national seed with the coaching staff that it had. Over the long haul, Florida had a very successful regular season. But we saw what happened in the regional here. So what prompted this? What prompted this? And I wonder, had Florida won its regional and maybe gone down in the Super, or if Florida had gone to Omaha, I wonder if these changes would have been made. Interesting. Also, it is now official, although we talked about this earlier in the week. Florida men's basketball has learned its home and away designations for the upcoming SEC season. So that's kind of cool. Home and away, Georgia, South Carolina, and Texas. Home only, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Missouri, Oklahoma, A&M, and Vanderbilt. And away only, Bama, Arkansas, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, and Tennessee, a place that Florida's not done well, Knoxville. So anyway, there you go. And of course, they've already have announced games versus Miami, versus Notre Dame, versus Houston or Rutgers, and then a tournament in Vegas, and then against Duke, the big one here, home, December 1. All right. With all that, we will open phone lines, 392-8255, the email, srussell@wruf.com. All of our phone calls courtesy of Titan MRI and Imaging, 3 locations in Gainesville, 1 in Lake City. Call them for the best MRI, affordable prices, TitanMRI.com. Our emails courtesy of International Diamond Center, the official jeweler of the Florida Gators. If you want quality jewelry, ladies and gentlemen, these are the people to see, International Diamond Center. And the first hour of Sports Scene brought to you in part by Quality Plumbing. Their name says it all. A name you've trusted since way back in 1984, Quality Plumbing. All right, let's get to Renard. Renard, hello.
Good, Steve. Two things. One, didn't watch the draft last night, day two. But when I turned ESPN last night, the two things they were talking about, Charlotte Hornets listening to offers for LaMelo Ball, and Shams Charania could not stop talking about the Celtics are listening for offers for Jaylen Brown. Steve, I don't know, maybe a deal call in. I don't know what Jaylen Brown has done to the people in that organization. I understand you're trying to improve your team. I could understand Giannis. He's a top 3 player when healthy, in my opinion. But, that's over with. You got, in my opinion, Jaylen Brown is he's a top 10 player, maybe a top 8 player. In my opinion, he's just that good, both ends of the court. I don't understand why they continue to do this, listen to these offers, and I'm convinced, Steve, it may not be this off season, but at some point they're going to better do the Jaylen Brown, the Boston Celtics.
Well, the only thing I can say, apparently the Celtics feel they need to trade Jaylen Brown to be competitive. I mean, that's all I can think of. Why? Because on the surface of it, I hear what you're saying, right? Terrific player. But, this is not the first time in any league we have seen prominent players be traded for one reason or another. So just have to see what happens here.
The other point, you mentioned earlier this weekend, it ties into what you were just talking about. And I was thinking, I meant to mention it yesterday. You mentioned earlier on your show today about, I saw it on FloridaGator.com, Florida Athletic Program finished 6th in the nation. And then I think you also mentioned on Monday or Tuesday that there were 13 teams in the SEC. So I don't know how many teams are there in the SEC total.
You mean for the entire league?
Yeah, entire league.
I think it's 13, but I could be wrong. I haven't even thought about that, to tell you the truth.
Total number of teams. The reason I asked that question, Steve, I think you mentioned you gave a fight. You threw something out earlier this week that 13
16,
teams.
16, that's right. It's even, 16.
16, okay. 13 teams in the SEC won a national championship, I think, this calendar sports year. And Florida was not one of them. That
didn't win an SEC title?
I thought, Florida did win because the girls won.
Okay, so repeat what you just said, please.
I think national. I think you should say that 13 SEC teams won national championships this year.
Okay.
In various sports. I'm thinking, Steve, we were good, but if 13 teams in the SEC win a national championship, don't you think Florida should win a championship in at least one sport? That right. Florida should be one of those 13.
Hard, man.
I know you don't say it's hard to do, but I just think
I'm glad you're not a fan of my school, Bernard. Look, it is hard to win a national championship, right? But let's just say, let's take Oklahoma, okay? They win a national championship in baseball. Congratulations to them. They're good in, softball? And I'm sure a couple of other things I'm missing. So they won a national championship. But where is the overall athletic program? Are they any good in basketball? I mean, they're not poor, but they're not winning SEC championships. They won a national championship. So I believe Texas is above Florida, I believe. And so that's a case where you could say, okay, they've won national championships and they're really good in the SEC as well.
You make a good point, Steve, and maybe when you can find out the last time Florida, the men, won the swimming speed, because we used to dominate that. Steve, I think Texas men won both the SEC and I think they were the national championship in swimming. So when they came to join the SEC, they brought a top-notch swimming program with them. So, when you brought Texas and Oklahoma to this conference, you did, maybe not total sports, but in some Pacific sports, you brought some really, really good teams that compete for not only SEC championships, but national championships. I guess I'm saying, Steve, almost 13 out of 16 of 13 teams, 14 teams, whatever, win as the national championship. I'm hopeful moving forward in the future that Florida is one of them. Steve, you take care and have a great day. We'll talk later.
All right, Bernard. Thank you. Ooh, that's a real high bar to set, isn't it? I mean, look, I get the point, right? Because if you look, Florida didn't win a national championship in any sport. Well, okay, but look where they are in terms of, the overall number. They were in top 5 in 7 different sports. Top 5 in 7 different sports. Texas was number 1. Congratulations to Texas. So they were the best SEC team in that. But, Florida ain't bad. We'll take a break, come back. More to come. You're listening to Sports Scene, coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF. Hey, folks, it's Steve Russell for my friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. They've been in business for over 45 years. That in itself says a whole lot. Take a look around you when you drive. Take a look at the car in front of you, alongside of you. There's a really good chance it'll have a Southeast Car Agency tag, just like my vehicle does, and many vehicles before that have as well. When you go see them in person, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you to the good people at Southeast Car Agency, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, Gainesville.
Everyone knows Gator Trim Light is the go-to for patented permanent holiday lighting. But did you know they do so much more? From pool enclosures and businesses to decks and landscape lighting, they've got you covered. Full color systems, fully programmable, right from your smartphone. Invisible by day, stunning by night. Show off your orange and blue home or landscape with GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. GatorTrimLight.com.
P.F. Chang's Gainesville is serving up incredible lunch specials starting at just $11.99. So if you're in the mood for Asian fusion cuisine, stop in for lunch today. And don't miss happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. with $5.99 beers, $6.99 wines, and $8.99 cocktails. Make your next lunch or afternoon unwind unforgettable at P.F. Chang's Gainesville, your destination for lunch and happy hour.
It's lunchtime and nobody does lunch like Pomodoro Cafe. From Italian dishes to subs and salads, and favorites like their pressed ciabatta pesto chicken with fries, grilled chicken, assorted roast peppers, mushrooms, mozzarella, and pesto aioli.
This is Steve Russell sharing with you one of my favorite lunch spots, Pomodoro Cafe, located in the Spring Hill Publix complex on 39th Avenue near I-75. Enjoy Pomodoro Cafe today.
And don't forget, they cater online at pomodorocafe.com.
Soccer sticker fever is here at Miapa. Every Wednesday from 4 to 9 p.m., bring the family for soccer sticker trading night. Trade the stickers you're missing, pick up albums and sticker packs, and connect with fellow collectors. And kids ages 3 to 10 eat free with a paid adult entree. While the kids enjoy dinner, treat yourself to the best Cuban food north of Miami and delicious Cuban coffee at any of our 6 convenient locations. Miapa Soccer Sticker Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, 4 to 9 p.m.
In a world of big banks, there's only one truly local choice in Gainesville, Gala Bank. Locally owned and operated, Gala Bank is built by people who live here, work here, and care about this community. With over 350 years of combined banking experience, you'll always get trusted guidance and personal service you can count on. And with convenient 7 to 7 hours, Monday through Saturday, banking works around your schedule, not the other way around. Local bank, local people. Gala Bank. Member FDIC.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey man, what's Hard Rock Bet giving new players?
If you win your first $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets.
$750? ¿Cuánto?
Whoa, was that Ronaldinho? Sounds like his first bet scored.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New customers bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
You're listening to Sports Scene with Steve Russell, right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Welcome back. Mark said in an email, in the National Diamond Center email, that the coaches hired by Strickland have done pretty well. Outside of Golden and a few good years with Mullen, who else has he hired that's done pretty well? He's hired 9 coaches. I was saying some of the other 7 have done a pretty good job. Some, certainly not all. And I think the 2 hires the one he's made for soccer, I think is going to really pay dividends. And that is somebody. And I guess because, again, when you get personally involved, I really like Samantha Bohan. And she dealt with a rash of injuries. And I thought he pulled the plug on her too soon, Mark. So, yeah, I mean, her record was, her as an example, was not particularly good. But, again, my point is no complaints because of where the program is. And let's face it, with all respect, volleyball was okay. So that hire's incomplete. The soccer coach hire at this point, incomplete. The women's basketball hire, Kelly Ray Finley, was not successful, right? So to be determined, Mark, I think is fair. Byron, hello.
Hey, Steve. Kind of wanted to end the NBA segment because this is probably going to be it for the day. But Steve, I'm asking you now. I don't know this, but if I had a question to you about Bernard's question about not Tatum, Brown, could it be salary? Because, a lot of us overlook Brown is a great player, and he's demanding probably top dollar. Along with Jason Tatum, you got White. I can't do the whole roster because I'm old, Steve. But a lot of those guys are probably, getting ready for new contracts. And John Morant is probably being tossed around from Memphis to the Lakers. And I was going to ask you about that and maybe some other trades. Even, Steve, I know you're not a Minnesota you're a Twins fan because you're a baseball, but the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're doing some big trading. Have you caught up with that? And they're getting Ball, and I know Reed is going, but what do you think of that trade? Have you looked into anything of that? Because I know it's not real big news, but have you heard of that?
Honestly, I mean, I know that's being talked about, but I've not delved into that. And I believe, somebody can correct me on this, didn't Jaylen Brown agree on a Supermax extension not too long ago? So, the Celtics certainly wanted him at that point. And I don't know. I don't think anybody outside of that organization and Jaylen Brown, know exactly what's going on. But, look, sometimes you have to make difficult decisions in terms of salary cap. You have to make difficult decisions in terms of team chemistry. And when it works, you're a genius. When it doesn't, you're an idiot. That's how it works.
Yeah. Steve, you can kind of, I'm not, just say, I'm a caller, but Charlotte traded Ball, So he's going to be teamed up with, I can't think of the guard, I love him to death, from Georgia that plays for Minnesota, and they're getting Reed and some other stuff. But, yeah, big trade with Charlotte and Minnesota. And I guess I'm going to end it with this, Steve. I'm happy what Miami is doing. You know, I think teams like Orlando have to go out and step out and spend a little money, and that's what the big teams are doing, even your Knicks, man. And it's going to be some good moves going on in there, Steve. Keep watching it, and I'm interested to see because the West is changing, and I don't know what's going to happen. You know, Charlotte now, the Heat. But look out for your Knicks, Steve. We coming at you in Boston. I know they're there, too. Thanks, Steve. Go Gators.
Byron, thank you. In looking the specifics of the trade, ball goes from Charlotte to Minnesota, according to ESPN. The Timberwolves will get LaMelo Ball and Josh Green. The Hornets will get a player, a 2033 first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps, 3 second-round picks as well. So, he is leaving. And look, Minnesota, I think, is trying to get something around Anthony Edwards because he's there and a great player. So we'll see what it does. Hey, D, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Steve? Before I hit on Jaylen Brown, I saw that, first of all, when you started singing our song, Janet Jackson, I had to give you a ring. And, but the basketball schedule, Steve, thank God we got a good team, man, because that home schedule is kind of like blah, man. Other than Kentucky and Texas, there aren't too many appealing teams coming to the Old Dome this year. So, maybe a couple will emerge as the season progresses. But as of right now, man, that the road schedule looks more appealing than the home schedule.
It does. Again, we don't know what the makeup of a team is going to be, right? But, yes, in terms of brand, if you want to call it that, I'm with you.
Yep. Now, let me get on Jaylen Brown, Steve.
Sure.
Here's the deal, Steve. Jaylen Brown has won a Finals MVP. He's a champion. But I don't want to say the organization has always catered towards Jason Tatum. They've always put Jason Tatum above Jaylen Brown. And then now this is the second time that they've entered his name in the trade talks. It was Kevin Durant at one time, and now it's with Giannis. And if you've done all of this for the organization, the majority of last year Tatum was out, or you helped carry the team to a 2 seed. At some point, you're going to feel disrespected. This isn't on Jaylen Brown. And you know what, Steve? I don't even blame Brad Stevens, because if you have an opportunity to improve your team to go after a player like Giannis, you do it. If any that's a general manager's job. If a player like that becomes available, your job is to inquire and see what you can do to get him. But if you don't, you better get him, because if you don't, that's going to ruffle some feathers, and I think eventually he's going to be gone because, like I said, Steve, the organization, as much as he's done for the organization does not view him the same as they do Jason Tatum, and that's got to ruffle him the wrong way.
Two things. I can understand, to your point, if he's, quote, ruffled the wrong way, unquote. Why is it then that a player can just leave via free agency and that's okay? It's a two-way street.
Right, business works both ways.
Yes, it's a business, and he's getting paid. The Celtics have paid him. I mean, deservedly so, right? But I don't have a whole lot of empathy when it comes to that because, again, how many times do we see players walk? And they have the right to walk. That's what they collectively bargained for. They have every right to do that. But the flip side of the coin, in my opinion, D, is an organization has the right to say, you know what, I'm going to trade you. And if your feelings are hurt, okay, sorry, but we paid you. That's how I look at this.
Right. I just think Jaylen's he's had this big chip on his shoulder.
Yes, I agree.
Ever since the day he was drafted, Steve. They booed the draft pick. Like I said, they didn't think he was good enough. And he's overcome that, man. He's used that as motivation. But like you said, man, Anthony Davis was traded after he won the Lakers a championship. Luka, who was everything to the Mavericks,
there you go.
got traded. So no one's untouchable, man.
That's right. All right. Appreciate you,
Yep.
D. Thank you.
You, Steve.
You bet. We'll take a break. Come back on the other side. Ben Troupe, former Gator football player, is going to join us, reminisce about his time here, and he's written a book. He will tell you about that as he will join us here on the Titan MRI Imaging phone line. Don't forget, all of our guests come to you courtesy of Meldon Law, serving Gator Nation since 1971. Back with more sports, seen on WRUF.
The John Sumrall era begins this September, right here on WRUF.
Your heart health matters. That's why Titan MRI and Imaging and Gainesville Open MRI are offering a coronary calcium scan for just $99. This quick, painless CT scan takes about 15 minutes and can help identify calcified plaque in your heart's arteries, giving you valuable insight to your future heart attack risk. The results provide a calcium score that can help your doctor determine the best preventive care plan for you. Schedule your scan today at GainesvilleOpenMRI.com. Live longer, live healthier. Titan MRI and Imaging with 3 convenient locations in Gainesville and Lake City, serving you better.
Summer's back, and so is IDC's most popular offer ever. 0% financing for 5 years. Now through June 30th, you can make any purchase at International Diamond Center and spread your payments out to 2031 without paying a dime in interest. Engagement rings, wedding bands, eternity bands, earrings, pendants, our largest selection ever of certified hand-picked diamonds and exclusive designer fashion jewelry. International Diamond Center at Celebration Point. Excludes Rolex. Details and more at shopidc.com on approved credit.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
By now, you've heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com.
Thursdays just got a whole lot better. At Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, it's prime rib night, and it's everything you've been craving. We're talking slow-roasted, perfectly seasoned USDA prime rib, carved just the way you like it, served with a jumbo loaded baked potato and all the classic fixins. Simple, legendary, done right. This isn't just dinner, it's a weekly tradition. And hey, you asked, the head ball coach delivered. Join us every Thursday for premium prime rib night at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Come hungry, leave legendary.
There are plenty of realtors in town, but few work as hard, respond as quickly, or care as deeply as Doreen Wiebe of Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Community-driven and client-focused, Doreen will work with you to ensure your satisfaction. Whether you're buying or selling, she brings persistence, preparation, and heart to every deal. With Doreen, you're not just another transaction. You're a priority. Call 352-562-1411. That's 352-562-1411.
It's game day. Lights on, fans ready, everything running like it should. Now imagine your home performing at that same level. No flickering lights, no tripping breakers, no last-minute surprises. With B&D Electric, your home's electrical system is always game day ready. From repairs and lighting to panel upgrades and troubleshooting, they deliver reliable service you can count on every time. Don't sit on the sidelines. Schedule your service today at www.bdelectric.com. That's bdelectric.com.
Foodies, this is not a drill. Sensei Asian Bistro is now open in Celebration Point, right next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, and it's bringing bold Japanese French fusion flavors you won't find anywhere else. We're talking smoked New York strip, rich matcha curry, melt-in-your-mouth Chilean sea bass, and the fan-favorite Chunggang chili chicken. Feeling adventurous? Dive into fresh crudo oysters or treat yourself to A5 Wagyu tataki. Add in handcrafted cocktails, and you've got your next night out covered. Sensei Asian Bistro. Come hungry, leave impressed.
You're listening to Sports Scene with Steve Russell, right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app.
Don't forget, if you have any YouTube questions, Caroline gets them to me courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union, where Coach Spurrier does his banking, serving our community for 90 years. Any Facebook Live questions come courtesy of Roos Ogre State Farm, your go-to agent in Gainesville for car, home, casualty, and life insurance. And don't forget, if you want to text a question on the B&D Electric text line, 352-325-3777. You can schedule with great people that do great work at bdelectric.com. All right, let's go to our Titan MRI and Imaging phone line. Bring in a Gator great who has gone on to do a lot of different things after he finished his NFL career. Ben Troupe joins us here now on the show. Ben, how are you? It's good to talk to you again.
Man, it's always good to be on with you, sir. Thanks for having me as always.
For those who maybe don't remember, Ben, you're a Georgia guy. How'd you get to Florida, and reminisce about your time playing football here?
Steve Spurrier. When I was coming out, back in 2000, my high school wasn't one of those high schools that put out a bunch of big-time talent every year. And myself and Isaac West, who ended up going to Furman, and Carlos Rogers, who ended up going to Auburn, we was the first big recruit. So being young and naive and not really understanding the process kind of helped us. I know it helped me. I didn't really understand, but I remember my father has siblings that are a lot younger, a lot older than him, like 17, 18 years older than him. So their children became kind of like my compass. And some of my older cousins told me, they said, when Steve Spurrier come to your house, you do not tell him no. Number one, I'm like, well, why would Steve Spurrier come to my house? Number one. But I just remember my lines. See, Coach Spurrier came to the crib, and I remember my dad answered the door. And my dad was a very young-looking grown man, even when he had me. And when he was like, "How you doing, Ben?" I remember they said, "That's his dad. That ain't even him." But Coach, the same charisma that Coach Spurrier had back then is the same charisma he has now. And I was blessed enough to have Coach Spurrier come to. I mean, I don't know how often the head coaches get to come to the houses now with their busy schedule. But when Coach Spurrier come to your house, sit in your living room, eat your mama's food, all I had to do was remember my lines. He asked me, and the greatest thing about Coach Spurrier was the world knows me as Ben. My name is Benjamin, but my family calls me Benny. He called me Benny, and just little nuances like that, he even called me that to this day. So, I think if I had to go back and do it again, I know with this NIL stuff now, I would make the same choice.
Yeah, it's funny. I can hear him, Ben. Benny Troupe. I can just hear him. I can hear him saying that. All right, you leave Florida after a terrific career. You play in the NFL. What were your years in the NFL like? It was cut short by injury, but what were your years like in the NFL?
I enjoyed it, and the reason why I enjoyed it was this. I got a chance to play with Kevin Carter twice. I played with Kevin Carter when I was with the Titans. I played with Kevin Carter when I my cup of coffee when I was with the Tampa Bay Bucks. I got to play with Steve McNair and Vince Young. I got to catch touchdown passes against Troy Polamalu and Brian Dawkins. I mean, I got to jump over, Champ Bailey my rookie year on Christmas Day. Now Denver, I don't remember a lot of the game after that because we got the brakes beat off us after that. But so many great memories, and all I really wanted from my NFL career, I wasn't one of those accolade chasers. I would have loved Pro Bowls and Super Bowls. I got a chance to play in the playoffs against like Danny and Thomas and the company, but I have no regrets. I mean, I understand that the NFL is not a promise to anybody. I wanted to be the first guy drafted from the team I came from, Florida. I wanted to be the first guy drafted to the team I went to. I wanted to walk away on my own terms, and I did. And I thank God for being able to have those three things that I wanted. But injuries were something that I never really had to deal with in my life, and football has to be fun to me. And when it became more of a business, I knew I had done all I could do, and I had to move on to other endeavors. Speaking of those other endeavors, you got into our business. You got into media. How did that take place? A young man by the name of B.J. Bennett reached out to me in 2009, and I didn't through email. I reached back out to him in 2010. Yes, I have gotten a lot better at responding to emails since then. It don't take me a year to respond to people. But he's from Brunswick, Georgia, and he introduced radio to me. And I asked him. I was living in Tampa at the time, and I said, "Can I come up and see it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can show you." And then how he introduced it to me, and we became real close friends. And obviously, he was who wrote the book. We wrote our book together. And BJ, I mean, he is the guy that helped me get into this media. I mean, he held my hand the entire time. Did not go to journalism school. Do not have talking points. I've learned through scrutiny and adversity and just going through the steps of how to do this. I am not a seasoned vet when it comes to this media thing. I do my best to give integrity to it, professionalism to it, and I do my best to have fun. But media, man, is a trip. But I do enjoy being a part of it.
And then you wrote Uncommon and Unfinished, the Ben Troupe story. Where'd you get the idea to do that in the first place?
Working on ESPN Radio, part of ESPN Coastal, we was up and down, Savannah, Brunswick, St. Simon Island, Hilton Head, and it was during the pandemic. And with all of us not being able to be around each other, BJ told me how he always wanted to write a book. And I was like, look, man, if we come out of this pandemic and we haven't done something, kind of like scratch off something on the bucket list, and BJ is a writer. And for those who are writers out there, I can give you guys a couple of footnotes. This guy give me back, 4 or 5 chapters. And he want me reading them. But the reason why I chose BJ was, I'm a country boy, man. I'm very frugal. Some people may call me cheap. I call it frugal. You ask my wife, she may go more on the cheap side. But I would say this. I looked at how much a ghostwriter was, and I was like, what you mean on average 15, 10,000? I got to pay that much? And I might not even like what they wrote. So me and BJ talked about it, and a friend of mine named Montre Drummer, who I met, who is from a small town just like me, I met him right before the pandemic happened, and I was blessed to be able to speak at East Georgia State College in my hometown of Swainsboro. He was kind of like my point of contact, and he said, hey, Ben, I'm not telling you what to do, man, but he said I prayed about it, and, God told me to tell you he think you should call it Uncommon Unfinished. And I told him, well, I will only call it that if you write the foreword, and he did. So now my editor, may God bless his heart, when he first gave me my book back, it was in red and black letters. I'm like, oh, we're not doing that. Red and black? No, dude. He was like, what's wrong with that? I'm like, you from Tennessee, sir. It will either be in orange or blue. I can do black and white. I can't do black and red. I'm not doing that. But it all came together, and it's very, very humbling to know my book has been out since 2021. It's one of my crowning jewels, and being able to try to put your life up until this point in a book and try to do my due diligence to my mom and my dad and my siblings and my children. I hope they enjoy the book. I hope they enjoy reading as much as I enjoyed writing it.
Ben Troupe joining us here on Sports Scene, talking about his career, the book. I have to end with this. I always, when I have players, from the past on, and you look at what's going on now, Ben, with all this NIL, all the money in the sport in college, what are your thoughts when you see all this?
I hope that NIL stretches farther than just certain people getting money. And the reason why I say it is this. My nephew, I live in Atlanta now. My nephew goes to Kennesaw State. He don't live too far from my house. He's a Division I athlete. And NIL might as well be a mirage when it comes to certain players. I understand the money aspect, and I want the young people to get their money. But I care more about the education that's attached to it. I know that Ben Chase is no longer at the University of Florida. I've had a chance to speak with him. What about collaborations? What about partnerships? What about teaching these young people how to utilize their leverage to be able to partner with some of these companies? I'd rather go to Popeyes and ask for chicken and money because they can get me that longer than when my time. So I care about if I want to be in the radio industry, and you know this, being a podcaster don't make you a radio guy.
That's right.
It's not the same thing. I care about leverage, because I care about longevity, and you got to be able to use it. I understand that people think it's going to be the end of college football. Well, so was the college football playoff, so was transfer portal, so was the BCS. Until the people in the college football playoff committee tell us how they voted, I don't want to hear about NIL. Those people are who need to be investigated. Those people over there who putting certain teams in that shouldn't be in, but NIL will not ruin it. I just hope that we put our minds together and make sure if you make it past high school and you get to play college athletics, Division I, Division II, Division III, NIA, Ivy League, you should be able to benefit from NIL because from the children, from the young people I talk to, yes, I went to the University of Florida, so people like, Ben, shut up, don't nobody want to hear from you, you went to Florida. I get it, but I make sure that every single person that was able to get a scholarship past high school gets to have an NIL experience. It won't be money all the time. Sometimes it could just be education, knowledge, and being able to utilize because if I can find a way to utilize my leverage when I'm 21, hopefully that can help benefit me when I'm 31, 41.
You want to promote anything you're doing now?
Yeah, man, I have my nonprofit, the Uncommon Crew. You can go to theuncommoncrew.org. It's a mentoring program for boys ages 12 through 18. Still doing all, I'm on this podcast where I do, wins in the division. The University of Florida won his 84 reasons. And I'm just having fun. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just a country boy from Swainsboro, sweet tea and shade trees for life. The fact that people let me do this and I can make a couple of dollars doing it, and my wife still looks at me every day and say, I still want to be married to you. I care about stuff like that. It's a dream where people. I got to speak in Florida, and my daughter, who is much older now, was standing next to a picture. They had Gator Great next to my picture, man. I said, Daddy, look, I appreciate those sentiments. I got to go into the Florida Georgia Hall of Fame with what's his name, Vern Lundquist. I mean, I got to go in there with him, and my mom cared less about me, and she said, "Is that Vern?" And she pushed me out the way to get to Vern. I'm trying to get to that level of stardom, but man, I'm enjoying these moments of my life. And somebody would have told me that at this point in my life, I will be doing what I'm doing now, trying to help young people, trying to be the best dad, best husband I can. Hey, I'm blessed beyond anything I ever could. I appreciate you having me on as always, sir.
Appreciate you, Ben. Thanks for doing it, man. Ben Troupe joining us here. Obviously, he's done a lot since he quit playing. We come back. Another change in college football. Adam Rittenberg from ESPN will talk to you about it next as we come to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Cards and Sea on WRUF.
At International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange, you'll find transparent pricing, same-day evaluations, expert craftsmanship, and a team committed to treating every customer with honesty and respect. And you never know who you'll see shopping there. Music stars, sports stars, and savvy collectors all know where to go when they're searching for exceptional value and luxury timepieces. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, or restoring a treasured piece, visit International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange on West University Avenue in Gainesville.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar, Lululemon, Columbia, Tommy Bahama, Apple, and more. From game day to every day, we've got the styles Gators love. Stop by the Florida bookstore at Rights Union. The Florida bookstore, where Gators shop.
Go Gators! After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for core power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
It's the Battle of the Trucks at Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC. The Chevy Silverado 1500 strikes first with 0% financing for 60 months. The 26 GMC Sierra strikes back with 0% financing for 60 months plus no monthly payments for 130 days. Come see us today at Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC and GainesvilleChevyGMC.com. 36-month leases, $69.99 due at signing, plus tax, tag, title, and dock. $16.66 per thousand financed at 0 APR for 60 months. Subject to lender approval. Expires month end. Together, let's drive.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville. You'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Concrete is tough, long-lasting, durable. And when it's done right, it's the foundation of everything that stands strong. At Silverback Concrete, we don't just pour concrete, we build trust one slab at a time. We're a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists who sweat every detail, from footers to elevated decks. We respect your budget, we build to last, and we care about the people on the job today and those who will walk these floors tomorrow. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete, we've got your back. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to get started.
For more than 50 years of quality service, Archer Electric Service Company has been Gainesville's choice for residential and commercial electrical work. Whether you need wiring, repairs, or backup generator installation, we treat every client like family with professional, clean, dependable service. Don't wait for the storm or the flicker to remind you. Visit ArcherElectricService.com today for a free consultation and see why we've been Gainesville and the surrounding area's most trusted electricians for decades.
Sometimes it can be hard to tell the difference between a minor sprain and a significant issue. The team at UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine provide expert orthopedic care with locations in Gainesville and Ocala for everything from walk-in treatments to specialized surgeries and complex cases. Choose the providers who care for Team USA. Visit ufhealth.org/orthoexperts to learn more. Proud provider for the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Medical Network.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Sunny skies becoming partly cloudy this afternoon. Highs in the mid-90s. Heat index values nearing 105. Scattered evening thunderstorms along and east of the I-75 corridor. Then skies clearing tonight. Lows in the morning in the mid-70s. Tomorrow afternoon, sun and clouds. Highs in the mid to upper 90s. Heat index values near 105 again, with a few late afternoon thunderstorms. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
WRUF, where Gator Nation comes alive. 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Quality Plumbing bringing you the first hour of Sports Scene. We appreciate them. Well, the only constant in college football, college athletics seems to be change. Now, some proposed changes to the offseason and preseason practice schedules and more. And the gentleman who wrote the story on ESPN.com, Adam Rittenberg, joins us now. Adam, thanks as always for doing this. Once again, we see more possible change here for people maybe who don't know about this. Discuss this and what these proposed changes might bring.
Well, good to be with you, Steve. Yeah, so the Football Oversight Committee, which is obviously looking at a lot of different things around the sport, is saying that there can be a different way that off-season practices and preseason practices are conducted. And so instead of having the traditional, up to 15 practices in the spring and then was it 25 in the preseason, to essentially have, two periods of out-of-season practice, doesn't include preseason, that you can have up to 21 practices. You can create them however you want, as long as the total period does not exceed, I believe it's 5 weeks. And so, this is, again, creating more of an NFL-like offseason. NFL teams don't just, practice a few times in the spring and then gather in the preseason. They have opportunities to work together a lot more frequently than college teams. And as college becomes a lot more like the NFL, this creates more flexibility for the coaches and their teams to figure out when they want to practice. And then it does ease a little bit of the preseason burden, going from 25 to 21 practices that can be completed over, I think, a 27-day span. So I actually think this is something that creates a little bit more order. You're already having these players at the facilities pretty much year-round. They are working out on their own. Coaches are around. This would just formalize it a little bit more.
One of the things that I find interesting is the possibility of going to start the season what is now known as Week 0 before Labor Day weekend. I think that's going to happen. Do you?
I think so, too. I think you have to figure out ways to create more flexibility with the regular season schedule to accommodate for, probably an inevitable expanded college football playoff. And so, that's one thing that I think is doable. You have a number of places that are already in school. You have some games that are already occurring on Week 0. It wasn't like Labor Day was, anything traditionally tied to the sport that has to be the weekend that kicks off college football. You do get an extra week on the NFL where you'd have 2 full weeks of games before the NFL games kick off, which is not, the reason that you do this, but it's probably a benefit. And certainly there's some challenges, right? Like where you guys live, there's often extreme weather at that time of year. It's affected early season games, and it will affect games if there is more of a full schedule in Week 0. But you've got to find a way to play all of the games you need to play, and then also accommodate for a postseason. And there's been many that have made it clear in the sport that they don't like how long the postseason goes and how late the season goes into January. This is obviously one way to, at least for most of the teams, end their seasons a little bit earlier.
Adam, maybe I just don't get it. And for those who don't know, this is coming from the Division I Football Oversight Committee. One of the proposals is to reduce the transfer portal window, and that's fine. But if what I read is correct, it would open on the first business day following January 1. If you're going to increase the college football playoff, that means more teams are still playing when the portal opens. Doesn't that sort of go counter to what this is supposed to be?
Yeah, I just don't think there's a way to get around, unless there suddenly would be more support for a spring portal, which the Big Ten proposed last year. It did not get a lot of traction. Essentially, it was hey, we want to do this right after the semesters end in most places, or the quarters are ending, and it's really tied much more to the academic calendar.
Gotcha.
But you're right. You're going to have players that are, obviously a lot of these moves are orchestrated right after the regular season, but you're going to have players, going in and movement while, the quarterfinals are still happening, the semifinals are still happening, obviously the national championship. And so, it's why if there's any way to get this season wrapped up a lot closer to January 1st, other than perhaps the teams in the national championship game, that would be a little bit more aligned with the portal. But they're really, again, I think there's benefit to a spring portal, but that just didn't get a lot of traction outside of the Big Ten when it was proposed last year.
Maybe I'm not smart. I think the spring portal makes a ton of sense, but what do I know? Let me end with this, Adam. In your Rittenberg crystal ball, this national legislation, this bipartisan legislation, do you think it will end up passing? What do you think will happen if it does?
Well, it's interesting to see how quickly it's moved, right? I mean, it's obviously hard to pass anything, sports or otherwise, but it has gained some momentum. And, obviously there's been opposition from the Big Ten and the SEC. Talking to some Big Ten coaches last week, they would like a slimmed down version of this. They think there's too much in the bill, and that, it's going to be hard to get everything approved. But it is an ambitious bill led largely outside of those two major conferences in terms of, who's really driving it. So interested to see where it goes and what's ultimately in there, because I think there is some support among others in Washington for a more slimmed down version than what's currently being discussed.
And then the last thing, when the NCAA Division I cabinet approved that change in eligibility rules, immediately some athletes went to court and filed suit, saying it was unfair to the class of 2022. Where do you think this could end up?
Yeah, again, it's I think hard to know without knowing the rulings of those initial cases, because there's clearly a belief among the players and their attorneys that they can be successful, much like so many other players have with appealing for injunctions and for extra years. But I think those initial judicial rulings on these cases will be instructive as to how far it can go, because if the players win, especially the groups of players that are suing, you better believe there's others that are going to follow.
It's never dull, is it?
No, it's not particularly fun, but it isn't dull.
Yeah, well said, Adam. Always appreciate your time and know how busy you are. Thanks for taking the time.
Yep, thanks for having me.
You got it, Adam. Adam Rittenberg does a great job, great writer for ESPN, ESPN.com. All right, that's our first hour. Coming up at the top of the hour, Ron Slay from the SEC Network will talk college hoops, just in terms of what's going on in the sport. All of that. We'll get his thoughts coming up. Chris Doering scheduled to be on with us at the bottom of the hour as well. You're listening to Sports Scene on WRUF.
The Tampa Bay Rays play here all summer long. WRUF.
Want to get your brand noticed? At Radware, we help you stand out with custom corporate apparel, branded uniforms, and promotional swag that gets attention. From trade shows to team uniforms, we've got you covered. Radware even works with major names like the University of Florida. Boost your brand visibility today. Visit radware.com. That's radware.com and let your brand shine.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com. Member NCUA.
Summer in Gainesville means sunshine, barbecues, and storm season right around the corner. Don't wait until disaster strikes to think about your roof. Whether it's your home or your business, Atlantic Roofing has you covered. From inspections to full replacements, their expert team handles both residential and commercial roofing, built to stand up to Florida's toughest weather. Get ahead of the storm. Protect what matters most. Visit AtlanticRoofingFL.com today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing. Roofing you can trust, rain or shine.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial. And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
Gator fans, this one's for you. Introducing Castaway Sauce Company, the hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. Their signature ball kicker hot sauce is inspired by Steve Spurrier's famous kick that beat Auburn in '66. If you love hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, Castaway delivers. Available at select public supermarkets, Castaway Sauce Company is founded by a lifelong Gator and proud UF alum. From mild to wild, they've got a flavor for every Gator tailgate. Grab your Castaway hot sauce today and taste the tradition. Learn more at CastawaySauceCompany.com.
This summer, bring every game home. Baseball, soccer, golf, like never before with a stunning new home theater system from Electronics World, Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, surveillance, and smart home solutions, delivering the best products, the best service, and the best price. Don't just watch the game, live it at Electronics World, Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, home surveillance, and smart home installation and service. Visit electronicsworldfl.com for more. That's electronicsworldfl.com.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by Gator Trim Light, Campus USA Credit Union, Doreen Weeby Realtor, Fairlife Milk, Domino's Pizza, International Diamond Center, Meldon Law, Miapa Latin Cafe, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Quality Plumbing, Sensei Asian Bistro, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Titan MRI and Imaging, the UF Bookstore, Gala Bank, BND Electric, and the Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
Welcome into Hour 2 of Sports Scene for this Thursday. Caroline is our producer today. We come to you live from the Gator Trim Light studio. Visit GatorTrimLight.com and see what they can do for your home, for your business, for your deck, for your landscape lighting, whatever it might be. They'll really light your place up and make it look really, really good. We're fueled by Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. When you go see them in person, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you. Quality Plumbing, giving us the first hour sponsorship. We appreciate them. Domino's Pizza, part of our second hour sponsorship here. Nobody delivers like Domino's, whether you're picking up or ordering delivery. Fast, easy, just a click away. Order at GatorDomino's.com. Let us go now to our Titan MRI and Imaging phone line. With all the changes that are happening in college basketball. And when Dusty May left, I thought of Ron Slay, because I thought he'd be a good dude to talk to this about, and he's kind enough to join us here. Of course, you see Ron on the SEC Network. Ron, I was, in this day and age, it's hard to say you're shocked at anything that happens, but I was certainly surprised. When you saw that news, what was your reaction?
Man, the college game is in an uncertain place.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought. And then for it to be Dusty May, the one that's leaving, it's like, wow, man, how else do you keep a guy of that stature, a young and up-and-coming coach that's worked his way up through different colleges, whether it be FAU, and then you also get FAU, on his way to Michigan, him being able to be able to around these guys and develop guys, like that was the coaching calling card, but if that's not the calling card anymore, what is to keep a coach? You get the sustainability in players with contracts in the NBA, which allows you to at least know that they're going to be there. When you get a contract in college, there's no certainty that these guys are going to be there. These guys subject to leave or at any given time, and you got to re-recruit. So I think it says a lot about the college game, man, when you're losing thriving, upcoming coaches like this, and it makes it difficult to keep guys when the NBA is calling and you got professional stability there.
Yeah, and look, I there's been a lot of speculation about Todd Golden. Would he ever go to the NBA? I guess we'll find out here. But you know this, Ron. Dusty mentioned this. He didn't even have time to enjoy winning a championship when he was already talking to recruits. A recruit told him twice he was coming. He wasn't going to come. You don't have to do that stuff in the NBA. I mean that. And look at the Roy Williamses and the Coach K's and those guys that have left. I mean, doesn't that tell folks what could be happening here down the road?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's insane. It's insane to watch. You watch a guy like Todd Golden, and I wonder if Todd didn't have this type of didn't have the ability to retain these type of guys, this team that he has coming back. Would he have been looking to vote at any moment, or at least listening to the opportunity? So, like you said, man, it's unfair in the sense that you grind so hard and get to the peak, you get to the pinnacle, which is the championship, and the next thing you know, a day later, you're automatically back in the recruiting pool, and not the recruiting pool of guys that are coming out of high school, your own guys.
Yep.
So get them to come back. Like, it's insane, man, to watch it go down this way. And then, like you just said, the allure of being able to go to the pro game and know that I get to do X's and O's, basketball and development, and don't have to worry about picking up the phone, going to get this player. That's the front office job.
Yep.
So I know a lot of people are like, man, we don't want to go and make these guys pros or employees of the NCAA, but at the same time, man, you're putting a whole lot of responsibility on the shoulders of these coaches to hire GMs, to also keep a side eye on them to make sure they're doing the right thing. You got coaches under you that may be trying to vote and get a job. When they get a job, do they take those same recruits that you try to retain with them? It's too much, man. Honestly, it's too much.
Ron Slay joining us here from the SEC Network talking the state of college basketball. Ron, when Florida won back-to-back with Joe Kim and Horford and all those guys, they talked about what a grind it was, that it just wasn't a lot of fun, that the expectation heaped on them. Well, the band's back together now. A lot of guys that could have gone to the league are back, but what the expectation is going to be from fans, media, etc. So put a player's hat on, Ron. How difficult is it going to be, and the job Todd's going to have of making this still fun while meeting the expectations?
Yeah, I think the part of guys understanding game by game, taking your time and enjoying the moment, that's going to be the most stressed part. coming out from the coaching staff and everyone around them. Be able to block out the noise. You kind of got a hint of it last year, so you kind of have that ace in the hole as far as being able to understand what's expected, the pressure that'll be there. But bringing everybody back, it applies more pressure, like you said. So I think it's going to lean on the players, the captains. Guys have been in this role already, and they know exactly what to do. Thomas Houck is not getting into a new position like he was last year, which he thrived in at the small forward spot. So he doesn't necessarily have to concentrate on learning his game. He knows his game, which will make it easier for him to be a leader in from my perspective. And then you also get guys like Boogie Flan. If Aberdeen is like we think he'll be eligible to play, I believe he's a guy that you lean on. So you're no longer having to spearhead the guys in the backcourt and trying to catch them up. These guys are already caught up. That's the ace in the hole for this group. They make their own fun. That's what I would think of it.
Last thing, a lot of us, and I'm probably in this boat, talk about, the negative things or this is what's wrong. But see if you agree with me. I think what's right about NIL is that you can retain players now because you're getting paid sizable money and you can delay going to the NBA. So if you are going to stay and coach in college, yes, it's a pain to be on the phone right away after winning a championship, but at least you have the ability to retain players because you're paying them. That's a big advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a big advantage. That's exactly what you want. You want to have some kind of advantage when it comes to being able to keep these guys and what is going to lure these guys from all of the millions of dollars from the NBA, and that's other millions of dollars from college. I think the difficult part of it is, though, as a player coming back to that situation, you're coming not necessarily for school at that point. You're coming back to be able to get who you are, develop who you are, get your game right so you can move on to the next level. And once you're able to do that, that's all you dreamed of. But you got to keep in the forefront. Man, I got to do some type of work online or anything. That right there is the thing that I think make a player run quicker than anything else. Because I want to play as a professional, and all the resources that we have, colleges like playing professional sports right now. But if you throw in and you don't understand really this is a 4 to 5 month rental for this guy, then I think you're missing the boat if you're a coach and you're not preaching that as well.
I always appreciate you, Ron, especially coming on off season like this. Thanks for the time, man, and we'll talk. Appreciate you.
Anytime, Steve. Hey, I'm letting it be known right now.
Okay.
The Swamp Stars. The Swamp Stars. It ain't the Monstars. These guys returning. This is the Swamp Stars. You better be ready for them, baby. I can't wait.
Okay. All right, I got you, Ron. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, the Swamp Stars. Got to remember that. Ron Slay doing that up. International Diamond Center email, Tampa Mike, really enjoyed your interview with Ben Troupe. Interesting guy. He's got it figured out. Sounds like priorities are in proper order. Really enjoying the World Cup. Interesting game and strategy, requires a lot of coordination to play, especially enjoying fans from other countries taking to our culture and being appreciative. Segments of our country could also take a lesson from them on gratitude. I agree. No question. I agree with that. Titan MRI Imaging phone line. Mike, hello.
Hey, Steve. I love Patrick Young. He does a great job. But Ron Slay, in my opinion, is the absolute best. He's funny. He's a great communicator. He's very knowledgeable. I appreciate you having him on the show because he really does a good job. He does his homework.
He's fun.
Yeah. And I agree with him on everything. This is all insane. And to tell you the truth, Steve, I wouldn't want to be a college coach right now. If I had a chance to be a pro coach, I would jump at it. It's just unbelievable the amount of things they have to do and the pressure that's on them. 24/7 all year long. It's just too much. It's gone from the players don't have any control to the players have all the control, and I wouldn't be surprised if Goldman after this year went to the NBA if there's an opportunity. And unfortunately, we're going to be losing some of our best coaches in the college game. This is just, overall, I think it's going to be slow, but it's really hurting the college game. I don't know what you think, Steve.
It could, Mike. And look, I think when you look back at who has left, the Krzyzewskis and the Roy Williamses and all that, they were older school, right? They're not Dusty May's age. They had been in it a long time. I think they saw some of this coming and said, I'm done. But it's the Jay Wrights, the Dusty Mays that you look at and go, what'll happen? I sometimes forget this because with all the pressure, Mike, that I think Florida will have on it from media, fans, whoever else, right? Todd Golden still gets a chance to coach that group again. And I think that's forgotten because he enjoyed that group. They enjoyed him. They seemed to handle, whatever pressure there was. And I sometimes forget that he's got a chance to coach the core of what was a really special group again. And that goes a long way too.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the one thing is they're not trying to repeat. So that might take a little of the pressure off. They're just trying not to go out early like they did last time. So, it's wonderful that he's got to do this. And I think it also says something about the University of Florida that twice now kids could have gone pro and they stayed here because of the love being a college player and the support they get and everything. So anyway, thanks a lot, Steve.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. We'll take a break, come back. Chris Doring is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. In the meantime, time to hear from you as you listen to Sports Scene on WRUF. Hey, it's Steve Russell for Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. Friends, they've been in business for 45-plus years, and the Cousins family has done just one thing, but man, they've done it right. They give you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late-model, low-mileage vehicles. I'm driving one right now, have been for a very long time. They've treated me right. They'll do the same thing for you. Go see them today, Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville.
Everyone knows Gator Trim Light is the go-to for patented permanent holiday lighting. But did you know they do so much more? From pool enclosures and businesses to decks and landscape lighting, they've got you covered. Full color systems, fully programmable, right from your smartphone. Invisible by day, stunning by night. Show off your orange and blue home or landscape with GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. GatorTrimLight.com.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial. And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for Core Power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com. Member NCUA.
At International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange, you'll find transparent pricing, same-day evaluations, expert craftsmanship, and a team committed to treating every customer with honesty and respect. And you never know who you'll see shopping there. Music stars, sports stars, and savvy collectors all know where to go when they're searching for exceptional value and luxury timepieces. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, or restoring a treasured piece, visit International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange on West University Avenue in Gainesville.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Wait, is that Ronaldinho? Ronaldinho, you think Brazil will win it all this summer?
Claro que sí.
Can I just say, you're my favorite player, ever.
Bet all of soccer's biggest matches this summer on Hard Rock Bet. And keep your cool in case you run into Ronaldinho. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and back your country. Roll with us. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
The John Sumrall era begins this September. Catch every game right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM. We are your home for Gator sports.
2 SEC Network guests today. Chris Doring's going to join us bottom of the hour to talk, of course, SEC football. Dustin emailed, International Diamond Center email about Xavier Lee, who is signing what they call an Exhibit 10 contract with the Cavaliers. And it's a non-guaranteed deal for training camp. And he gets a bonus if he's waived before the season begins and then spends at least 60 days with the Cleveland Charge, which is the Cavs G League affiliate. So good luck to him. BB, I've got your question for Chris, so I will make sure that I get that. In the meantime, let's go to our Titan MRI Imaging phone line. Rich is there. Hi, Rich.
Hey, Steve. Perfect game alert. Tampa Bay. Right now, Rays are up 5-0. It's only the 5th inning. But they started with Legumina today, and then Seymour came in as an opener strategy. But zeros across the board for Kansas City, so go figure. Just to stay tuned and see what happens there.
Yep.
Great interviews today. I liked that interview, especially with Ben. I mean, he obviously got his head on straight. I like the way he talked about frugality. He wrote a book, talked about education, and obviously has got the personality to be in the media. Real good interview. So last night, I want to get your thoughts on this. Last night, Griffin Jacks pitched for the Rays. He's converted from the bullpen to the starter role. So, and he's done a good job. I mean, he's 11 starts. He's had success. His ERA has gone from like 8 as a reliever to below 3 as a starter. They kind of worked him up. He went 2, 3, 4. Now he's going about 5 innings. Your thoughts as a pitcher or former pitcher, the difference, the preparation, the mindset coming out of the bullpen versus starting?
Whew, I could probably talk about that till I'm done. Obviously, the preparation is different. When you relieve, you don't throw between starts, obviously. But I think the mindset is if I'm going to relieve, especially what my role is, what is my relief role? Am I a middle relief guy? Am I a 7th inning guy? Am I the setup guy? Am I the closer? Mm-hmm. So if I know I'm only going to throw an inning, in theory, right, perfect world, well, then what am I saving myself for, right? Go. Mm-hmm. But if I'm going to come in the 5th inning, and I might have to throw 3 innings, the way I attack a hitter, the way, what I do, my pitch selection, all of that, may be a little bit different. And I think organizations also teach different things about that role as well. And baseball's become so specialized now. I mean, when I was growing up, you didn't want to be a reliever. You were a scrub if you were a reliever, in the old days. And obviously, as the game grew, you had somebody who closed. But it's been fairly recently when you've had sort of the 7th inning guy, then the setup guy, then the closer. So it takes, a special mindset, I think, to do that. And organizations, teach it a little bit differently.
And they've identified certain pitchers over the last, 5 years probably, that they thought could make that transition from the bullpen to the starting role. Drew Rasmussen, Jeffrey Springs, Zach Littell, and all these guys had success. So I think it takes the organization looking at it and say, that guy has the potential because he has good stuff or good movement. It's funny when they talked about Jacks, he always had good stuff, but he just struggled for whatever reason. Players always said he had elite stuff. Thanks, man. You have a great day.
Rich, thank you. Well, here's the thing. The Mets' best pitcher last year was probably Peterson. And he's had a terrible year. Why? What changed? And now I guess the Cubs are going to get him because the Cubs have been decimated by injuries in their pitching rotation. So what happens? What's different? It's little things sometimes. And if you talk to pitching coaches, sometimes tipping pitches. Lugo Canchola tipped his pitches. And they worked with him. They got him a different glove. They got him to, do the ball different because teams were picking it up. So there's a whole lot of things that go into that. Brian, I think this time of the year is difficult for sports topics. Want to give you something to ponder. Lots of our local talk shows are putting top 10 lists out, like best pass, best catch. I'm trying to find an out-of-the-box one. Top 3 Gator special teams plays of all times. He has the block against Carolina in 2006. Yep, that'd probably be number 1. The Shane Edge fake punt in the 94 SEC title game. The 2010 game-winning field goal from Chaz Henry with Todd Grantham screaming, "You're going to choke," right before that. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So if anybody wants to jump on that, you can. This is, look, in 28 years of doing this, this is the time of the year for that stuff. And we saw it yesterday, right? Big time. So if you want to add on to Brian's topic there, go right ahead. YouTube question, and YouTube questions come to you courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union. Scott, what's the upcoming schedule for Sports Scene? We're doing a show tomorrow. No, we're going to do a show tomorrow and some shows next week, and we're taking some time off. July is a brutal month around here in sports. Here. Because, again, having history on my side here, the SEC media days are in July. And I'll talk about this just for a second. It's a little bit sad, a little bit, in that used to be, it is a big deal, don't get me wrong. It still is. But before the advent of the SEC network, I'd go down there go to Birmingham every year when it was there and do the shows from there. And I would bring a student with me. Laura Rutledge came with me one year. And we drove together to Birmingham. It's one of the reasons why we're close today, because we spent a lot of time in the car, talking sports. And I did with a lot of my other students who went with me over the years. And you got interviews there. If you knew the sports information person, hey, can Coach Fulmer come on today? Can we get him? Okay. You'd learn how to wait at the door when the contingent came in and the players came in and grab the player right away with an interview and then play it back on the show. There was a little art to it, how to do it. Well, now the SEC network does it, and you can see it all you want. You can go online. And that's why, and to be fair, very, very rarely does any news come out of there. It's what it's for, right? It's to preview the season, all of that, but you don't get a lot of news from it. Mike says that Chris Doering's going to be one of the best college football analysts in the business, prepared, a great communicator. Agree. He's done a terrific job. And speaking of that, he's next. As you're listening to Sports Scene, coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
The John Sumrall era begins this September. Catch every game right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM. We are your home for Gator sports.
Your heart health matters. That's why Titan MRI and Imaging and Gainesville Open MRI are offering a coronary calcium scan for just $99. This quick, painless CT scan takes about 15 minutes and can help identify calcified plaque in your heart's arteries, giving you valuable insight to your future heart attack risk. The results provide a calcium score that can help your doctor determine the best preventive care plan for you. Schedule your scan today at GainesvilleOpenMRI.com. Live longer, live healthier. Titan MRI and Imaging with 3 convenient locations in Gainesville and Lake City, serving you better.
Summer's back, and so is IDC's most popular offer ever. 0% financing for 5 years. Now through June 30th, you can make any purchase at International Diamond Center and spread your payments out to 2031 without paying a dime in interest. Engagement rings, wedding bands, eternity bands, earrings, pendants, our largest selection ever of certified hand-picked diamonds and exclusive designer fashion jewelry. International Diamond Center at Celebration Point. Excludes Rolex. Details and more at shopidc.com on approved credit.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
By now you've heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com.
Summer in Gainesville means sunshine, barbecues, and storm season right around the corner. Don't wait until disaster strikes to think about your roof. Whether it's your home or your business, Atlantic Roofing has you covered. From inspections to full replacements, their expert team handles both residential and commercial roofing, built to stand up to Florida's toughest weather. Get ahead of the storm. Protect what matters most. Visit AtlanticRoofingFL.com today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing. Roofing you can trust, rain or shine.
Soccer Sticker Fever is here at Miapa. Every Wednesday from 4 to 9 p.m., bring the family for Soccer Sticker Trading Night. Trade the stickers you're missing, pick up albums and sticker packs, and connect with fellow collectors. And kids ages 3 to 10 eat free with a paid adult entree. While the kids enjoy dinner, treat yourself to the best Cuban food north of Miami and delicious Cuban coffee at any of our 6 convenient locations. Miapa Soccer Sticker Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, 4 to 9 p.m.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
Nope, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Hey, it's Kevin Winter. Join me in the Sports Lab today at 2 on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app. We are your home for Gator Sports.
Sports Lab's taken off for the rest of this week, but normally that's who follows us here on Sports Scene. Well, as I said earlier, it's really cool. You can get 2 dudes from the SEC Network on the same show. Ron Slay earlier talking basketball, and my buddy Chris Doring talking SEC and college football. CD, good to have you, man. Thank you for this. Boy, I don't know where to start. So many things have happened. There's this legislation. There's all these changes being proposed. My head's spinning. What about yours?
By the way, let me stop you real quick. Is Slay not the best, despite him being a Tennessee guy? Is he not the absolute best?
He is.
Love that dude, man. He's awesome.
And he's a great dude, too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, the legislation change. You know what stands out to me? This is very selfish of me, but when I start thinking about the 5 for 5, I start thinking about my touchdown record, man. It's going to be much more attainable now with 5 years of eligibility, right? I mean, that really is what I'm most worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy. It is. These are turbulent times, and I just spent about a month ago a week down in Destin for SEC spring meetings, and you're talking to the people in the rooms. You're talking to Greg Sankey, you're talking to these athletic directors from the SEC, and all of them are trying to figure this thing out. So, I feel like we're in good hands, particularly with the leadership of Greg Sankey, who I think is one of the most thoughtful, patient, intelligent leaders that we have, not just in sports, but in general. And it's not going to look the same, and it's not maybe going to feel the same. But at the same time, we've been going through this turbulence for the last 4 or 5 years, and I would say the product on the field is better than it's ever been.
I don't know. Tell me, okay, a fan is listening, Chris, who doesn't do what you do, doesn't do what I do, and obviously, you're geared with the SEC, et cetera. A person stopped me the other day in the supermarket and said to me, why can't these people come to some sort of consensus on a playoff, go with it, and run with it?
Yeah.
So I'll pose that question to you. What's the big stumbling block here?
I think it's money. I mean, and specifically television money. And, you look at the relationships that exist, the SEC and the ESPN, the Big Ten and Fox, these television partners, these are important supporters of what we're doing these days. Not only keep the operation running with the athletic departments, but the player compensation as well. I mean, television is what drives the whole college football and college athletic world in general, and that's why. I remember when I was young, even when I was playing in Florida, Auburn was on probation. We weren't able to be on TV. They would never do that today. The NCAA would never be able to enforce a restriction that kept a major program off of television. So it just illustrates how much influence they have, and I think that's what it is. Because I was always a 16-team playoff guy. It makes a lot of sense. The symmetry is there. You let the highest seeds get a first round home playoff game, which is awesome. I've experienced that in Columbus, Ohio, and in Oxford, Mississippi the last 2 years. I would love to have one of those in the Swamp. But the more I thought about it, the 24-team model that the Big Ten has been pushing for is really actually more advantageous for the SEC, because the depth of the talent in our league is much greater than what it is in the Big Ten. The Big Ten, maybe you have 4 or 5 teams at the top that really care about football, that invest in it, whereas in the SEC, I think it's top to bottom. I mean, the fact that we had a 10-win Vanderbilt team last year speaks to that. We had a couple teams in Texas and Vandy that I think would have won a game or two in the postseason had they gotten in. So I talk to these athletic directors. They say it's all about access. They won't say it out loud because the company narrative right now is 16. But once they get the television side figured out, I think 24 is going to benefit the SEC far more than it will any other conference.
See, that's what I thought just from that, because like you said, if you're the best league, you're going to get more teams in, but what do I know?
But real quick on that, Steve, I don't know if you've paid attention to this or not, but if you go back and look, obviously the NCAA doesn't host the college football playoff. That's hosted by a private entity. But the NCAA, of all the postseason tournaments that they do host, whether we're talking about basketball, baseball, it's typically about 21% of the teams being fielded in that sport that have the access to the postseason. Right now, in football, we're less than 10%. So if you expand it to 24, that does get it more in line with what you see with the rest of the college athletic playoff fields. Yeah,
I've always thought that. BB has a question for you. He says, could Tennessee end up without a coach by the season's end if they lose 3 or 4 or 5 games?
I don't think so. I mean, I think Josh Heupel's done a great job there, and they got him into the playoffs 2 years ago. Now, I think I've called Tennessee a bully because I think they beat up on teams that they are better than, but when they play teams that are equal in talent or have better talent, rarely are they able to compete. And I think a lot of it comes down to physicality. I watched Ohio State just bully them on the lines of scrimmage 2 years ago in the college football playoff. I think that's where they need to get better. And people have said that offense has a little bit of finesse to it. They do run the football very well typically. That's actually kind of – but, I do think they have to find a way to get more physical. But I think Josh Heupel's done a great job of making them relevant. And if you think about it in general, Danny White, the athletic director, really resuscitated that entire athletic program because, 5-10 years ago they were left for dead.
Would you say if there was a coach on a hot seat, South Carolina, maybe Mississippi State, and do you think DeBoer would be on that list?
South Carolina for sure. I love Shane Beamer, but I think he would admit that that's the case this year. But that's in years where South Carolina hasn't been expected to do much, that's when they've actually had their best seasons under Shane Beamer. So I think they bounced back. They got a great quarterback in Lenora Sellers. They got to put some pieces around him. They got to be better up front. I think you look at the jump that Mississippi State made last year. I mean, that was a significant jump with a huge win over Arizona State. They should have beaten Tennessee last year. So I don't think there's any danger in Starkville right now. Alabama, they just gave Kalen DeBoer an extension. I think Kalen DeBoer is one of the best coaches in college football. I think obviously, Greg Byrne, the athletic director at Alabama, knows that. That's why they locked him up. There are a lot of schools sniffing around last year when they had job openings, including Penn State and some other powerhouses, Michigan as well. So I don't think there's any issue there. The fans, the Alabama fans are the most delusional fans in college football. So I think they're. I think he's safe there as well. But I think really the primary focus is probably Columbia.
Chris Doering, SEC Network, joining us here, talking early here about SEC football and college football in general. Chris, let me ask this too. I think eventually week 0 is going to be the start of the season. Do you agree with that?
For sure. I mean, you got to push the season up. Two things. An expanded playoff requires that, but I think they also want to have the 2 bye-week season become the norm. It's fallen that way, because of the calendar the last 2 years. This year we go back to 1, but I think there is the idea for player safety and just for the betterment of the season and competition to have the 2 bye weeks built in. But if you're going to expand the college football playoff, you have to start it early. Having it leak into February would not be a viable option in my mind. I think that even as it is, there was some fatigue that I think started to set in for some fans as we got into mid to late January.
Let me also ask this, Chris, because with all you look around, you go in this door, and there's national legislation, bipartisan legislation out there. You look through this door, and there's the NCAA saying, let's try this, let's try that. It's like a merry-go-round. It's confusing. If I had the Doering crystal ball here, where does all this stuff end up?
Man, I don't really know, and I think that's funny that politicians are the ones that are driving a lot of this. And I understand, the NCAA is seeking some protection. I think obviously, the biggest thing that has to take place, that is inevitably going to take place, is for, the players to unionize and have some sort of collective bargaining agreement. But what's the motivation for the players right now? It's so crazy because when I was a player, the schools, the NCAA had all the power. Now the pendulum swung the other direction where the NCAA can't go to court. They get drilled every time there's any sort of litigation that takes place.
Yeah.
And, the players are getting everything they possibly could want. They get free agency every single year. They're getting, there's no salary cap. So I don't know what the motivation is for the players to go to the collective bargaining agreement table, but I think that's really what's going to happen to have sustainability of college football and college athletics in general. I also think there was a step in the right direction as it related to the IOC providing grants for Olympic athletes. Like the IOC has been getting away basically with schools funding the sprinters, the swimmers, for Olympic competition every 4 years. So I think taking that out of the college athletic budget would certainly help the sustainability of the big sports.
Last question for you. The FBS, there's an FBS committee, Division I Football Oversight Committee, talking about proposed changes to preseason practice schedule, shorter transfer portal window. What I don't understand, Chris, and maybe you can enlighten me, it just seems common sense-wise to have a spring transfer portal, or at least wait till after the season is over so that teams that are in the playoff don't have to do double duty here. And yet that seems like it's not going to happen. What are your thoughts there?
I mean, the college football calendar is messed up in general. I mean, the Lane Kiffin debacle last year is proof of that. And when you're making coaching decisions in the most important part of the season, something is wrong. So, all of it goes back to this idea that these players are student athletes and they have to be in school by a certain date. I mean, let's stop fooling ourselves. They don't even go to class. I mean, everything's online. You know, they're getting paid a lot of money to come play. I think we got to get rid of the myth that these guys are truly student athletes at this point in time. That would help. But I know the coaches are terrified of the idea of having a spring portal. Like, you know, that's why we've lost, you know, all the access we have in spring practice. And we used to, man, my job was great. In the spring, I'd get a chance to go do a spring tour around the SEC. Yeah. I'd call a couple spring games. Now, you know, nobody wants to show anything, and a lot of that changed because of the portal happening after spring practice. So, yeah, I think it's good for the players, but I don't know that it's good for the teams and the coaches specifically.
A lot to sort out, that's for sure. Always appreciate you, Chris. Enjoy the summer, and we'll talk before you know it'll be college football season again. We will talk. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
You got it, CD. Thank you, Chris Doring. We go back a long way, and young man has done a terrific job, and he's really grown into a guy who does a really, really nice job. Quickly, email here or two, International Diamond Center email, Philip. Oh, boy, Philip gave me kind of War and Peace here, but he's basically asking, he's basically saying in 2 or 3 years, where do you see college athletics? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. These changes, you know, I try to look back with perspective. It just seems like college athletics was just going along. All of a sudden, you know, 5-6 years ago, bang, everything changed. And since then, you know, the room is spinning and we can't make it slow down. That's just how this is. So if I were to even attempt to tell you, you know, what I think is going to happen, I can't. We'll have one segment left. Still time to hear from you, whether it's by email, phone, however. You're listening to Sports Scene on WRUF.
Sometimes it can be hard to tell the difference between a minor sprain and a significant issue. The team at UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine provide expert orthopedic care with locations in Gainesville and Ocala for everything from walk-in treatments to specialized surgeries and complex cases. Choose the providers who care for Team USA. Visit ufhealth.org/orthoexperts to learn more. Proud provider for the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Medical Network.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville. You'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
It's the Battle of the Trucks at Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC. The Chevy Silverado 1500 strikes first with 0% financing for 60 months. The 26 GMC Sierra strikes back with 0% financing for 60 months plus no monthly payments for 130 days. Come see us today at Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC and GainesvilleChevyGMC.com. 36-month leases, $69.99 due at signing, plus tax, tag, title, and dock. $16.66 per thousand financed at 0 APR for 60 months. Subject to lender approval. Expires month end. Together, let's drive.
This summer, bring every game home. Baseball, soccer, golf, like never before. With a stunning new home theater system from Electronics World. Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, surveillance, and smart home solutions. Delivering the best products, the best service, and the best price. Don't just watch the game, live it. At Electronics World. Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, home surveillance, and smart home installation and service. Visit electronicsworldfl.com for more. That's electronicsworldfl.com.
Hey Gainesville, tired of big banks that don't know your name? Meet Galabank. Locally owned, locally operated. With over 350 years of combined experience, we're here to help our neighbors, not just customers. No call centers, no appointments necessary, no sign-in sheets, and anyone can cash a check on us. No extra charge. Local bank, local people. Galabank. Find us at 7515 West University Avenue off Tower Road. Galabank. Member FDIC.
Gainesville's best-kept secret is finally being revealed. Introducing Sensei Asian Bistro. Located in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Sensei delivers a one-of-a-kind Japanese-French fusion experience that's as refined as it is unforgettable. Indulge in signature dishes like our smoked New York strip, Chilean sea bass, matcha curry, or the crave-worthy Chunggang chili chicken. Pair it all with handcrafted cocktails, fresh crudo oysters, or our premium A5 Wagyu tataki. Sensei Asian Bistro. Make your reservation today.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Sunny skies becoming partly cloudy this afternoon. Highs in the mid-90s. Heat index values nearing 105. Scattered evening thunderstorms along and east of the I-75 corridor. Then skies clearing tonight. Lows in the morning in the mid-70s. Tomorrow afternoon, sun and clouds. Highs in the mid to upper 90s. Heat index values near 105 again, with a few late afternoon thunderstorms. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
This is Jeff Cardozo. Today at 4, tune in for the tailgate right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM. Your home for Gator Sports.
All right, we wrap it up today. Rays playing Kansas City, and it's all Tampa. 7-0 Rays, and they're in the bottom of the 7th at the Trop. Pittsburgh is hosting Seattle, and the Pirates are ahead 3-0. That game is in the top of the 5th. One other afternoon game today, the Sacramento/Las Vegas/where they at Athletics are at San Francisco. And by the way, speaking of that, how about Tony Vitello, who left college to manage the Giants, and the Giants are not doing so hot. But anyway, we'll see what happens after that. Okay, tomorrow on the show, for a Friday, we're going to getting some guests. One of them is going to be a friend from my college days, because we went to school together. He's also in the college's Ring of Honor. He and I went into the same year. His name, Chuck Cooperstein. And Coop is the play-by-play voice of the Dallas Mavericks. So who better to talk to about Dusty May? How surprised was he? You know, all of that. Coop will be with us tomorrow to discuss that. And then some shows next week, and then we'll take a little go-go's, a little vacation. And then we'll crank it up again, and before you know it, we'll be doing Inside the Huddle, we'll be doing football, all of that. That'll be coming up. By the way, I'll do this again because I got 2 emails. I will mention about men's basketball home and away in the SEC. Again, home and away, Texas, South Carolina, and Georgia. Home only, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Missouri, Oklahoma, A&M, and Vanderbilt. That's not exactly, with all due respect to those teams, it isn't, marquee. And away, listen to this slate: Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, and Tennessee. Don't you wish that was flip-flopped as a fan? But who knows? I mean, you could have, a Missouri or somebody be really good when they come here. And Missouri's going to have a good team. And don't forget the big one, December 1, Duke is here. And in case you missed it, Gators finish number 6 in the nation as far as their program is concerned. Their streak of top 10 national all-sports finishes goes to 42 consecutive years, the only program in the country to achieve that mark. And I'm going to say this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams at Florida finished top 5 or better. I mean, that's pretty good. Women's indoor track, men's golf, women's cross country number 5, men's indoor track, gymnastics number 3, women's outdoor track, and men's swimming number 2. And again, Anthony Nesty is probably the least known coach here, and he's done a heck of a job with that swimming program. But, he doesn't do a lot of interviews. He's pretty under the radar, but he's done a fantastic job here. Don't forget the Sports Lab will not come your way today. Rich Eisen, the Rich Eisen Show will come your way when we are done. And also, I had a couple of people email me show topics because yesterday was so bad. We, just tried to get through it, and I'll throw a couple of those out that I got tomorrow because we're still working on getting some guests, and we'll see if that has any tires or tread in the tires tomorrow. But for now, that's our show. Thanks to Caroline for producing it. Thanks to you for listening to it. Enjoy the rest of your day and try to stay cool. I'm Steve Russell. You're listening to WRUF. See you tomorrow.
Gator football returns September 5th, right here on WRUF.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar,